Welcome to Butter Legs. We don't always get things right, but we're real good triers.
We watch movies and make music inspired by the experience. Fair warning, there are spoilers.
We oftentimes talk about mature subjects, and we say dirty words while we're at it.
Here we go!
Let's maybe my secret challenge to you is to do your grumpy introduction.
Grumpy introduction. Oh,
Yeah, do a grumpy introduction.
That's gonna be difficult for me.
Hey, motherfuckers, I'm Sin.
I am unable to feel the emotion of anger or any of the adjacent emotions to that.
Bullshit. Hey, okay, I'll give you an example. Butter Leggings. Hey, Butter Leggings.
I'm Butter Leggings. Jay.
It's not a self-help group. I'm Jay. Hi, Jay.
That's what I'm saying. That was me trying to be angry. Jay. Just so much effort just to even say my name. I'm a little bit more like a bad Napoleon Dynamite impression.
I have no problem at all summoning anger. That is not problematic for me whatsoever. I kind of feel that way right now.
I'm saying, motherfucker.
You're like Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
Yeah. His secret is that he's angry all the time.
that's right.
Time for Butter Legs.
Alex, you do yours.
Oh, well, hey, Butter Leggings, I guess. That's more apathy, though, than grumpy.
Yeah.
It's kind of grumpy, though. Apathy's grumpy.
You sound like a teacher that's been teaching for too many years.
Everybody sit down. Sit down, Butter Leggings. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm about to retire.
I'm tenured. I don't even know what that means.
I think only college professors are tenured.
See? I don't even know what that means.
Someday you'll learn what a headache is.
Is that advice or is it anger?
It's a partly a warning, but also a way to like try to gather empathy from young people who do not experience headaches.
Okay. Good job.
You gonna be the warm face.
You're gonna have hair in weird places.
Your ears are gonna get big.
Your ears are gonna get big, and you're gonna have to deal. There's gonna be a child that will scream at you, and you'll hate them for it.
And then you'll die.
Do you hate us,
And then
Mr. Hedegaard?
Anyway, back to learning the ABCs. Goddamn kindergartners.
I cannot imagine being a teacher. Like, it might be. Hold on, my fucking. See, now I'm mad. My fucking headphones. God, fuck. Being a teacher. Like, you don't get paid a lot, and then the worst part is all the damn parents.
That probably is the worst
And then
part.
depending on which state you live in, it might really suck.
Just don't be in Kansas or Florida, and you'll have a pretty big advantage. I don't know though. If you bought into that though, I think being a teacher in Kansas or Florida would actually be pretty easy.
Oh yeah, because then you're
like, sweet, I don't have to teach anything.
sweet. I can indoctrinate children. Awesome. Did anyone watch the Super Bowl? Didn't the Super Bowl just happen?
It did just happen.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't know it happened
Yeah.
until the next day.
I know that the Kansas City Chiefs played. I don't know who else played, and I think they won, but they talked about it on Jeopardy. That's the only reason I know about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Because they had they had a category with like sports announcers who were
Oh
reading
God,
the
it's
clues,
so bad.
but they they were reading the clues in like sports announcer voice, as if like I don't know, as if Ken Jennings was like running towards a touchdown.
Super Bowl heroes for 1,000.
Here's Tom Rinaldi.
In Super Bowl 56 here at SoFi Stadium, it was this AD all day.
In 1983, Joe Montana, and I was like, "Oh my God, why are you screaming at us?"
Boy, wouldn't pro sports be hard? Like if you were in a pro sports game, boy, wouldn't it?
I would never be taken in a pro sports capacity like that. That would never happen.
I always thought that football in particular would be really hard because, I mean, just by nature of like what you have to wear, like, you know, that helmet messes up like most of your vision. Like, I'm just imagining being, you know, out there on the field and there's, you know, 21 other players out there and you got to kind of keep track of all of them
horrible.
from ground level.
Why can't they wear short pants?
Why can't they wear short pants?
Well, here's what I don't understand about football. Like they're all padded up, right? But they're all padded up. So it's the same thing. Like if everyone has the same amount of equipment, couldn't it be less?
What?
Do you see what I'm saying? Like
Nope.
I think it's like it's like the equivalent. It's the equivalent of if everybody's wearing a seatbelt, can't everybody not wear a seatbelt? Then everybody would be dying.
I guess I was thinking like they can hit each other harder because they have on the equipment.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking, like, if you don't have on equipment, you might not hit someone as hard because it's going to hurt you too. That's how I was thinking about it.
Like
Yeah,
everybody take off your pads, but don't hit me real
Well,
hard.
no,
because you're
everyone
not
take off
wearing
their pads, but like, I'm personally not going to ram my shoulder into someone, because it's going to hurt me, not because it's even going to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but you know, there's a bunch of really big, strong people who they don't care. They'll be a human wrecking ball.
True. Okay, so who would what professional sport would you be in? Is that the question on the table?
I would try football.
No,
maybe.
God, no, you wouldn't.
There's an if coming up. There's an if coming up. If I had like one of those big bubble suits that you see people like roll down hills, like basically everybody's in like a inflatable hamster ball sort of thing.
So you're saying you would be good at the professional sport of not football?
Slightly modified.
I think I might be pretty good at it if there'll be two steps to this. So there'll be a special rule because I'm a little fellow. They can't tackle me anymore because that can hurt. So I get to just wear the little ribbon that you had to grab.
Okay.
But then since there's a lot of those guys that are faster than me still too, I get also like a BB gun or something. Or maybe a paintball, and I could like shoot them before I start running.
Okay, so Alex is the second team player of the not football team.
The sport that really cracks me up, even at the professional level, is swimming.
Oh, God.
Because humans are so bad at swimming. And what's really funny is, like you watch Olympic swimming, you know, the absolute best in the world, and they are just like splashing away and like moving as fast as they can and kicking their legs real hard.
God, so slow.
And you're watching the event, you look over to the side and there's always a judge like waddling alongside with them, just watching them.
I know. We're so slow in the water. We're so
like
slow.
They don't even have to walk full speed to keep up with these Olympic swimmers.
So true.
What if professional basketball was on a budget and they couldn't afford a good basketball, so they had to use like a real lumpy dodgeball that didn't bounce quite right?
Would look very different.
What if?
What if?
Hey, unrelated topic.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Do you know about ChatGPT?
No.
I use it every day.
It's amazing. It's artificial intelligence that you can ask it like all sorts of stuff. You can ask it to write like papers for you and emails. You can put in a paragraph and have it rewrite it for you. It can even do like coding, like write code for, for my website or whatever.
You can ask it things like,
Oh, wow.
hey, I need to write this recommendation letter for a past employee. And they were good at doing this. And they're like, it'll say, okay, Michelle, here's what I would say. And it'll just write it. It's wild.
Yeah, and it's a conversation, so you can continue to evolve it. So it'll give you that answer, and you can be like, make it
Nicer.
more formal.
Yeah.
or
Friendly.
or make it shorter, reduce it to one paragraph, whatever. And the thing is, for the most part, like you still have to have that human element at this point to like make sure that it's on the right track, but it's really good at what it does.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
So
I have heard about that.
So I got to thinking, how can this help the Butter Legs?
Oh, God. Okay. Okay. I see where you're going. Did you have it write a song?
Well, I did have it write a song, but I didn't use it. But I had it tell me a couple stories.
Because I had it write some lyrics, and they weren't really great. They weren't really great. It's sort of like returned some like Seether lyrics to me. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like kind of that.
Because I'm broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's GPT. It's like, okay, what about this? I'm stuck in the darkness. I can't find my way out. Feels like I've been lost for hours. There's no way about. The fear grips my heart. I'm paralyzed with fright. Trying to escape this endless night. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. ChatGPT is like, oh yeah, for songs, you rhyme every other line. And I mean, it just keeps going. And it's like, and it even structures it like a song. It says verse 1. So that was verse 1. Now, ready for the chorus? Lost in the dark, can't break free. Every step feels like an eternity. Can't see the light. Don't know where to go. Feels like I'm never gonna break the hold. Now, it didn't tell me to put the at the end, but it's implied. It's implied that that's how you say it.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah, I mean, this shit is amazing.
It is. It is. So I asked ChatGPT to write a funny story about Butter Legs.
Oh, dear God.
That was my exact command. Write a funny story about Butter Legs. This is what ChatGPT gave to me. Once upon a time, there was a man named Benny who had butter legs.
Oh, my God.
No matter how much he tried to control them, his legs would always slip and slide in opposite directions. One day, Benny decided to audition for a dance competition.
Oh, my God.
The judges were impressed by his unique moves, but they couldn't help but notice that his legs were incredibly slippery.
Oh, no.
Benny explained to them that he had butter legs, and they all laughed. However, they told him that he had a special talent and encouraged him to participate in the competition. On the day of the competition, Benny danced like never before. His legs were sliding and gliding all over the dance floor, but he was having the time of his life.
Oh my
The
God.
crowd was in awe of his unique style. And when the judges announced the winner, they said, "And the winner is Benny with the butter legs." From that day on, Benny became famous for his butter legs and even opened up his own dance school to teach others how to control their slippery legs. The end.
So wild.
Yeah.
It's a whole story arc there.
Yeah.
I feel like that last part was like right when the credits start. They tell you what they did afterwards.
Benny went on to open his own school. Hey, friends. What are butter legs?
What are butter legs?
What are butterlegs? What are butterlegs? What are butterlegs?
In the theme of the movie Poltergeist, which we'll be talking about soon, the categories are he played coach. 1982. All of the things in 1982 are, they're stuff that happened in 82. And I ain't afraid of no ghost. So, Sin, why don't you go ahead?
Again.
Sin, why don't you go ahead and choose?
I ain't afraid no ghost 800.
I ain't afraid of this ghost who was the first to visit Ebenezer Scrooge.
What is the ghost of Christmas past?
That is incorrect.
Ooh. Change the steel?
Yeah,
Chance is
I know
still
where
Alex.
I know where I messed up. Dang it.
Alex, you want to answer for real or for funsies?
Yeah. I think so. I think I know it.
Okay, go for it.
What is the ghost of Robert Marley?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect too.
A chance to steal?
Bullshit.
A chance
I
to
don't
steal?
think you
Chance to steal? Chance to steal?
I don't think you could steal back again.
Chance to guess?
But go ahead and guess.
Who is Jacob Marley?
That's correct. Yes, Jacob Marley.
Ah. I just said the long form of Bob Marley.
Okay, Alex, choose the next clue.
1982 for 200.
The number one song of 1982 was this Olivia Newton-John song that is simultaneously about and not about exercising.
What is physical?
That's correct. Physical. All right, Sin, your chance. Go ahead and choose
Okay.
the clue.
He played coach for 400.
He played Coach Gordon Bombay of the Mighty Ducks.
Who is Emilio Estevez?
That's correct. Emilio.
Let's do 1982 for 800, please.
Badoo, badoo, badoo.
Oh,
It's the Daily Butter.
it's the Daily Butter.
All right, so Alex, right now you're at negative 600, but you can bet up to 800.
Okay, let's do it.
800, okay.
800.
In 1982, this company launched the first consumer CD player.
What is Sony?
That is correct. Sony.
Woo!
All right, Sin, your turn.
I ain't afraid to go no ghost for 600.
I ain't afraid of this green, hungry ghost from the Ghostbusters franchise.
Who is Gilbert? Who is Slimer?
That's right, Slimer.
I almost thought you were going to say Gilbert Godfrey. Let's do I ain't afraid no ghost for 400.
Okay.
Read it to me.
I ain't afraid of this movie from 1980 in which a hotel caretaker interacts with ghosts, or maybe he's just insane.
What is The Shining?
What is The Shining? That's correct.
1982 for 600.
In 1982, Magic Johnson led this team to win the NBA Finals.
I was like, I almost said, why did I Why did I pick a sports category? And then I was like, oh no, it's 1982. It's not the Coach one. Magic Johnson. That's a basketball player. NBA is a basketball league.
Alex is screaming
know.
the answer in his head.
I'm trying to think of like what colors do I think Magic Johnson wore? Yellow? Was it yellow? Okay, so if it was yellow, who's that arrogant guy? Didn't he die recently in a plane crash?
Yeah.
And what was his name? It started with a K. And they're from LA. The Lakers? Hold on. Lakers? No. I'm going to say this is so great. You guys, this is so good. Who are the Lakers?
That is correct.
Yes.
The LA Lakers.
That's truly how I'm not kidding. That is how my mind had to step through it. I was like picturing him in his little outfit, and I was like, I think it's yellow. And then I was like, who else wears yellow? And then what do I associate him with? Oh yeah, okay.
That's what all the fellas in the locker room say. Like, come on, fellas, let's put on our outfits.
Big night tonight at Staples Center. Everybody has their little outfits on. Should be a really great show.
The refs all have their costumes on. It's funny, yeah. Clothing is a lot funnier when you call it something else.
Looks like the refs got all matchy tonight.
What is that guy's name? The guy who died really sadly.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay, I was right. It had a K. Kobe Bryant.
Okay, let's go Coach for 800.
He played Coach Klein in 1998's comedy The Waterboy.
Who is the guy who played the Fonz? Henry Winkler is his name. Yes, who is he?
That's right. Who is Henry Winkler?
That was a long way around that one. Not as long as mine, but
Yeah, I was about to say. The way you two arrive at the answers is quite magical. Whose turn is it? Sin's turn, I think.
mine.
Which one you want?
I want something I'm going to get wrong. He played coach for 600, please.
He played Richard Williams, who coached his daughters Venus and Serena.
Who is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith?
That's correct. Will Smith. You liked that movie, didn't you?
Oh my God, it's so good.
I haven't seen it.
I need to watch it.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. Alex.
Which one's the highest now?
400 under 1982.
Let's do that one.
Okay. The number one movie of 82 starred Henry Thomas and Drew Barrymore as siblings.
What is E.T. the Extraterrestrial?
That's correct. E.T.
Yeah.
That was the subtitle of that movie.
Good job. I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost for 200.
I ain't afraid of this friendly ghost of a boy who... I ain't afraid of this friendly ghost of a boy who has been animated... Oh my God.
We know the answer.
There we go. Okay. I ain't afraid of this ghost of a boy who has been in animated features and movies since 1945.
Who is Casper?
That's right.
Same fucking plot every cartoon.
Terrible cartoon. All right. Last one. This goes to Alex.
Yes, sir.
In the movie Semi-Pro, he played Jackie Moon, owner, coach, and player for the Tropics basketball team.
Who was John William Farrell? If you Wikipedia it, his legal first name is John.
I was about to say, I don't know if that's right. Hang on.
You could double check me.
Hang on. I got to fact check it because I've never heard that before.
John William Farrell is an actor. He played in Semi-Pro.
Wow, his name is John William Farrell. Yep. So yeah, that's correct.
Thank you. One of my hobbies is random Wikipedias of people.
It's time for Final Buttery. The category is World Landmarks.
Oh, dear God.
Let's see. The scores. Alex has 2,000. Sin has 1,600.
Have more than I thought.
So please make your bets. And while they're making their bets, we're going to watch a little commercial. This commercial is for Glad garbage bags.
We're coming. Oh, thanks, man from Glad.
Uh-oh, here comes old Thin Bags Blevins again.
You'd think living in this town he'd know. Glad garbage bags are the ones that really hold a load.
That's why they're called the strong ones. Right, man from Glad?
Right. I thought I was going to be late for the garbage truck.
No, Mr. Blevins, you're just in time. Jump right in.
Glad garbage bags, the strong ones.
What's the message there? He's a piece of garbage?
Your neighbor is trash.
Yeah, like that's a terrible message.
And he should be destroyed in a garbage truck.
That's right. All right, my bet's in.
All right, the category is World Landmarks. Here's the clue. This 17th century mausoleum, located in Agra, India, was commissioned by Emperor Shah Jahan as a final resting place for his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal. Please send me your questions. Okay, the responses are in. Sin wrote, the Taj Mahal, and I'm sorry you didn't phrase it in the form of a question.
God damn it, I did it again.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And your bet was 1,600, so you are now at 0.
Okay.
Thanks for playing today.
Thank you.
Alex wrote in, what is the Taj Mahal? That is correct. And Alex bet 2,000, which brings him up to 4,000.
I'm never going to win this game. I'm never going to win this game. I was like, the Taj Mahal.
Were you like me and did nothing of that clue except for how the word sounded clue you in?
Yeah, totally. It was like, here's what I heard. Wow, 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 Mahal, wow, 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 wow. I was like, okay, Taj Mahal.
All right, we ready to talk about Poltergeist?
We are.
What is Poltergeist?
Bing, 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 bing.
It's Poltergeist, Poltergeist. This is Butter Leggings.
The closet ate me.
All right. Poltergeist from 1982, directed by Toby Hooper. And this movie is just a constant reminder that it's 1982.
It really is. Like the first of it, you're like, okay, this is definitely Steven Spielberg. You know, like when they show the house and the street and the kids playing, it's like, oh man.
Yeah. He didn't direct it, but he did the screenplay. So, you know, it was like.
Yeah, the setting.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we ended up, Sin and I ended up watching all 4 movies in the franchise.
Holy moly.
Oh, me too.
Yay.
Me too.
Yay. So you have Poltergeist 1, 2, and 3 from the 80s, and they were kind of a trilogy.
Nope.
I don't think it was intended at first for them to be a trilogy, but it happened. And then there's also a 2015 remake of the first Poltergeist movie. Let's go through kind of the franchise, and then we'll come back to Poltergeist 1 and talk about it in more detail. So we'll just touch on it right here. Poltergeist 1 is about a family. They're called the Freelings, the Freeling family, who buy a new house. Turns out the house is built on top of a cemetery. The headstones were moved, but not the bodies. And the spirits were lost and angry and controlled by an entity called the Beast. And the Beast and the other souls were drawn to the life force of Carrie Ann, the youngest member of the family.
Nope. Carol Ann.
Carol Ann. Yes, Carol Ann.
What'd you say?
I said Carrie Ann.
Oh. Carrie Ann Moss.
Carrot stick.
So, yeah, let's get back to Poltergeist 1 here in a second. Poltergeist 2 goes a little bit further into that plot and says that the Beast is the soul of an insane preacher named Cain. And in the 1800s, while he was still alive, Cain warned of a coming apocalypse, and he led this following into a cave in California, and he wouldn't let them leave the cave. This cave was directly below the Freelings' house, and this is why Cain, aka the Beast, was in the Freelings' house, and he was like controlling all of the spirits in the graveyard, I think is what they were going for.
Yeah.
And at the end, everyone goes down into the cave, and they think they defeat Cain.
I think Poltergeist 2, it has a really interesting storyline, and I think it could have been incorporated into Poltergeist 1, making Poltergeist 1 reasoning for a poltergeist make more sense.
Yeah.
Because I think cult leaders are fucking fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I watch all those documentaries about them. Like, I think it's incredibly fascinating.
Everybody came back for the sequel on this one.
Okay, but yeah, listen to this. This is fucking crazy. Did you wonder where the teenage daughter was?
I sure did whenever I was watching it. And, I felt bad whenever I found out the reason later. But yeah.
She got moitered.
Uh-huh.
Her boyfriend murdered her. And so that's why she wasn't in the show.
Yeah. In the movie, if you don't know that happened in real life, it's really confusing.
Because they don't mention, by the way, they don't even say like, why isn't she she's at camp or anything. They just don't mention her.
Yeah, they literally could have said anything, but it was just like, she just disappeared and it's just not in this movie, and granted, her character didn't really offer anything to the first movie, but
she was
I forgot all about her.
So on this one, yeah. So the whole thing about like a cult leader and like especially a religious cult. Ooh, I just love that. It's so cool. Like that's a really cool plot line, and I think it makes it just make so much more sense as to why. Because he kept those people in the cave. He didn't want them to escape, and he's basically wanting the same thing in the pseudo afterlife. And it just makes so much more sense than, I don't know, houses being buried on top of a cemetery. So, yeah. And they kind of go into the fact that the mom also had the gift as well, and the grandmother. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
And her hair was curly.
And her hair was curly.
Yeah, she had the big 80s hair. And in the first part of the movie, our old coach, Craig T. Nelson, he had kind of a mullet.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He had a mullet. Everybody had different
I think
hair.
they were going for he left kind of the corporate world. They were like free balling it in California kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that thing, like you mentioned, of the women in the family are clairvoyant.
Mm-hmm.
And, we find out that that's why Carol Ann was able to talk with the ghosts through the TV. And the mom is also clairvoyant, but she's been trying to hide it. And the grandma, who is a new character in 2, she is also clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Her character passes away during the movie, and Alex, why don't you tell us about the ending of the movie?
Well, I started not paying attention for a while, and then I looked up right at the point where they were kind of in the heavens and they were like waving at each other. I was like, "What's going on? This is goofy."
That is the goofiest part of any of them. It's so goofy.
So they're like, yeah, they're in this other dimension limbo place, and they thought that they lost Carol Ann again, but then Grandma shows up and sends her back, and everybody smiles at each other.
No,
and they're flying. They're
Yeah,
doing
they're
like
waving.
they're doing like green screen flying.
it's like it's on the level. What was I saying? It was on the level of was it Neverending Story? No, Clash of the Titans. It was kind of on that like level of green screen, I feel like.
Another goofy part. Remember when what's the Native American guy's name that was in Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
His character's name is Taylor in this movie.
Well, remember when Taylor snorted the ghost up his nose?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
You're gonna do me a line of ghost cane.
Oh, hey, that reminds me of my other thought about this movie is they're like, oh, we're gonna harness more like scary, gory things just for the sake a little bit, like I don't know.
Yeah. It had a little bit of that thing of like, we've got a special effects crew.
Yeah.
Let's figure out a way. Like, what tricks does the special effects crew know how to do?
Yeah.
Let's try to figure out some ways to incorporate that into a movie.
I think also it's just hard because I mean the first one is just so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It did very well in the theaters too. They like doubled their money or something like that.
Oh wow.
But let's talk about the masterpiece that is Poltergeist 3.
Oh gosh.
So Poltergeist 3, the absolute only person, cast and crew, as far as I know, that is in Poltergeist 3 that was in the other ones is Carol Ann. Other than that, everybody else is new. And so it's on the premise that the preacher guy, Kane, his spirit or whatever was not defeated at the end of 2. And he's continuing to haunt Carol Ann as Carol Ann visits her aunt and uncle in the city.
In the big city.
Yeah, which is how they explained, not having any of the other actors. Well, let's just have her visit some family that you've never met yet. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I lied. Tangina is also in this one.
That's right.
Played by Zelda Rubinstein.
That's right.
Or Rubinstein. I don't know how it's pronounced. At the end, Tangina leads Kane to the light and allowing him to pass over.
This one is like there's no connection. Like, I mean, I guess like, okay, so they didn't defeat Kane at the end, but it's just some people that are kind of dressed up like Kane in like a spirit Halloween mask of him. And they just like pop up here and there. And this is like, ooh, he's in the mirrors. Ooh, he's in the mirrors, the mirrors, the mirrors. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, this movie felt like there were a couple things at play whenever they were in the early times of developing this movie. They were like, okay, we have a special effects crew that knows how to do 4 tricks. Like how can we stretch those 4 things, those 4 effects over the span of an entire movie? Because there were scenes where they'd be like, oh no, this person's being pulled through a weird portal door. And they would just be playing tug of war with this person for what felt like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And nothing happening. It's like, yes, okay, oh no, I'm stuck in a puddle. The other thing about this movie is it really feels like, oh, we have the rights to film in this big skyscraper movie for 48 hours. Let's hurry up and shoot a movie in here real quick.
Also, we have the rights to the name Poltergeist. Let's leverage that.
Yeah.
That is all that we've got. Yeah. It's a piss poor movie. Like really, Carol Ann's the best actor out of all of them. It's so sad because, she died.
She got worse.
Yeah. Well, she died after this movie. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, is this movie cursed? It's so sad. So sad.
Yeah.
And then there's the remake, and I have some stuff to say about that one too.
Yeah. Let's this might be a good opportunity. Let's go into our first song, and then after that we'll talk about the remake.
Okay. So my song is largely about movies 1 and 2. It starts off with the idea of Cain going through the desert and ending up in the caves, and then them coming through to the 80s with Carol Ann. So it kind of draws the timeline out that way versus the movie plot line timeline. So anyway, and I did mine. I don't know what style this is really. I would say it's a little bit groovy. It's got some samples in it of some voices, and I don't know. Enjoy.
I'm gonna stay down, down. 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 Long, long.
We traveled across the western plains, following the apocalyptic preacher Cain, spreading more than Christianity, like smallpox, typhus, and STDs. We found shelter from the heat of the sun in these dark cases where our troubles begun. He kept on saying that the Lord was near, but I don't think we're ever getting out of here. Now we're never gonna cross to the other side. We're trying to punch through to the next century, talking to the TV when it's real staticky. Carol Ann hears us, she can take us to the light, but her mama and her daddy gonna put up a good fight. The parapsychologists come to their aid. Tangina figures out that the beast is preacher Cain. They get their baby back through the ceiling. They think they can relax now because the house is clean. Now we're never gonna cross to the other side.
Down, down.
Now we're never gonna cross to the other side.
Down, down.
Now we're never gonna cross to the other side.
Back home. I'm just stuck here in a dream.
Now we're never gonna cross to the other side.
Down, down.
Now we're never gonna cross to the other side.
Down, down.
Now we're never gonna cross to the other side.
Back home. I'm just stuck here in a dream.
Nice.
Very nice.
Thank you.
It reminded me a little bit of earlier Beck stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was kind of exploring it from that idea of like from the people that were stuck down there with Cain that he wasn't letting out. So that's the chorus part. And then, they're like the ghosts. And then also, I don't know if you cut that first part, I was like, that like as they were traveling, they were probably, apostatizing to people, being missionaries as they were traveling. And I was like, they were spreading things other than Christianity because, they like settlers like really, did horrible things to the indigenous people and they spread a lot of diseases. So I kind of leaned into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like typhus and STDs. So, yeah.
Your song is super catchy.
Thank you. Who wants to go next?
Well, now we're going to talk about the remake
Oh, yeah.
of
Yeah,
Poltergeist.
I like that one.
Tell us why you liked it, Alex.
I liked the directing style, I think. And the cameras are real smooth and it was well done.
It was well done, yeah.
Yeah, it's got Sam Rockwell in it, and I really like Sam Rockwell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Here's what I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
She's a writer. who doesn't have a current book deal, and he lost his job. How did they buy a house?
I think they were living on like the last of their savings maybe, and they needed a smaller monthly house payment or something, and
Oh, okay.
a new mortgage.
Okay, so they were downsizing.
Yes, that's how the way I understood it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they did allude to downsizing, which still feels a little bit odd because that's a big house. But
I know. I guess if you're super rich,
Yeah.
you're like, I guess we're downsizing into this 2-story, 4-bedroom house.
yeah.
He worked for John Deere Corporate.
That's right. No, I thought it was good. I liked the choices they made to stick to some of the things and not stick to others. But then it kind of left. I don't know. I flip flop back and forth. Some of me was like, why did they remake it? Because they did keep to some things and then made other choices. So it's like, why remake it? But I think it stands alone as it's a fine movie, and I would definitely watch it. You know, but I think I just love the original so much. Maybe that's where I am on that one.
Yeah, and there's certain things to the original that are irreplaceable because like in particular, I keep thinking of Tangina and her character. This house is clean. That's not, you can't replace that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing, I'm not saying this movie wasn't good because I agree that I liked it, but I think that Diane's character and Coach's character, their acting was so good, especially in the first movie. Like when the mom, like when she's missing Carol Ann, like you can feel it. Like she really is traumatized by her daughter being gone. And like when that ghost, or when Carol Ann rushes down the stairs as a ghost or as a being and kind of goes through her, she's like, oh, I can feel her. I can smell her. Like it always kind of gives me chills because it feels very emotional. And I will say that Sam Rockwell was good in the remake, but the mom, I don't feel like I connected with her in that way.
It took a little bit more focus on the boy in the family in this one, it felt like. Yeah. Which in the original was Robbie. They changed everybody's names too. Which I think was kind of a good choice because even though you know the story, it's real early on you realize that a lot of things have been changed, and so you're kind of guessing again, like, ooh, like what's going to happen.
I liked that decision to not be too derivative. That's part of what I liked about it. But because a lot of remakes are just like a good example is the newer Clash of the Titans, so I like how they did that. But the one downside to this remake though was it toward the last half of it started getting kind of campy, like the boy was like, I did this, I'm going in to get her.
Yeah.
It's like, stop it.
Yeah. That gets into that area of, I don't like kids in movies when they take on those roles that they really wouldn't. Like a kid like that's going to be like, hell no, I'm not going in there.
Yeah. I think one of the things that they tried to do and did a pretty good job of in this remake is there is kind of this feeling of, in Poltergeist 1, of like, you're just sitting there like, just leave the house. Everybody leave the house. In this one, they make a more obvious effort to try to leave the house. They packed up the car, and then the ghost or whatever literally dragged the car upside down into the living room.
That scene is good. That scene is good.
It was so good. I loved it.
Yeah. And like all the ghost interactions, I liked it. They did so well on that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't expect anything less from that director.
That you've never heard of.
No,
the Evil Dead guy, right?
No, he was a producer.
Oh.
He didn't direct it.
Oh, well, to hell with him.
It was produced by Sam Raimi. Overall, I think it was a good remake.
Song?
Yeah. Let's listen to another song.
Butter legs.
All right. My song, I was also inspired, kind of like Sin was, of like maybe from the perspective of the ghosts. So this is called We Are the Lost Ones. We are the lost ones. We'll never find the light. We all love you. With you we reunite. Push right through the walls. Punch a hole in time. Push right through the walls. Punch a hole in time. Push right through the walls. Punch a hole in time. Push right through the walls. Punch a hole in time. Push right through the walls. Punch a hole in time. Push right through the walls. Punch a hole in time. Soon you'll be mine. Soon you'll be mine. Soon you'll be mine.
Nice.
I really like that one. I really like it.
Thank you.
The chorus, especially to me, sounds really Bowie-esque. Bowie-esque?
It did.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it sounded labyrinthy.
Oh yeah,
Ah.
yeah. And I like how you kind of use Tangina's language to write, some of that in there. I like that. Punch a hole through time. Didn't she say that or say something similar to that?
Maybe it's not what I was thinking of when I wrote it.
Oh, hold on one second. Tangina, punch.
So much rage, so much betrayal. I've never sensed anything like it.
I don't know what hovers over this house, but it was strong enough to punch a hole into this world and take your daughter away from you.
Oh.
I thought you were playing a clip for a second. That's how good that was.
Yeah, I must have been thinking about that line. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but totally.
Yeah.
Subcontinental.
I mean, yes. I was thinking on a deep level and took from lines from the movie.
When she makes that whole speech, Jay, do you remember we were sitting there, and at the end, there's a pause, and then she goes, "Now let's go get your daughter." And I said it with her, and I was like, it's such a good speech. Because I remember that. I mean, I know this whole movie.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Sin knows this movie like line for line.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. That's that little lady though. When she shows up in the movie, I remember when I first saw this movie, I'm like, "What the hell's going on? Like, where did this lady come from? This is fantastic."
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's great. I love her performance.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, good job, JJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Good share and tell, both of y'all. Setting the bar too high.
Poltergeist 1, it really is such a classic. It's so good. Great performances. I just love
Coach.
Craig T. Nelson in this movie.
Yeah.
His character Steven is so funny. Like whenever he's just hanging out with the mom, can't remember her name now.
Diane.
Yeah, Diane. And, he's like pretending to be like a diver,
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And, like, it's just funny. It's just enjoyable.
Well, it's very real.
Yeah.
It's very real. It feels like they have
Yes.
a relationship.
That's what it is. It feels real. It's very real conversation.
Just a couple hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I feel like that's such a difficult nuance to do, that so many actors and directors, they get it wrong. They're like, what do normal humans say? Especially if you have kid actors in there.
Oh God. I know. I would say if I had to do an elevator pitch about this movie, is that, I don't know if this still holds up, but at the time, it was like an original modern ghost story. Because, it wasn't like, ooh, spooky ghost in an old haunted house. It was like, how do we tell a new ghost story? What's a new ghost story? And it's like, oh yeah, like that's, it doesn't even, they don't even say ghost a lot. It's like, oh no, it's a poltergeist. And it's just like, how do we tell, how do we spook people out, but in a modern way, modern for that time, 80s. But I just loved it. It just felt so fresh. I mean, it still does, I think. It's awesome.
It was I know he was just the producer, but it was a very Spielberg-y package. Like he's so good at putting together like a really, like, there's a quote that's brought up in my line of work by our chief of interpretation. Don't forget about the main thing. That's the main thing. And I think Spielberg really, that's his forte in story writing.
Yeah. This movie also has a lot of practical effects that are done really well.
Oh God, they're so good.
And little surprises that, they're tiny things that even the people in the movie, like, they don't think much of it whenever they first see it. Like, real early in the movie, they're having breakfast and they're like eating cereal, and Robbie the little boy, he picks up his fork or spoon or whatever, and it's like bent in half. Yeah. And like nobody really notices. He's just like, why is this spoon bent? Like, I don't remember it being bent. But also, I don't know how they did this, but whenever it's just one shot with the camera and it shows the kitchen chairs, and then it turns to the other part of the kitchen and turns back, and all the chairs are stacked up on top of the table. Good. And they really did that somehow.
I think what's also awesome about that whole kitchen, like her first interactivity with the poltergeist, again, this gets to that human element. They're like, if you encountered this, would you be scared or would you be curious? And they kind of go on like, Diane's curious. And her daughter is so fatigued by her mom being curious that she's bored of it now. And, like, it's really interesting. And then, they've been doing this all day. And then Craig T. Nelson comes home and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like such a good scene because it's not like scary ghost. It's like, look at this, isn't this cool? Like, I just love that because it kind of sets you up for like, okay, well, maybe this isn't going to be scary. It's like, oh no, it is scary. it's
yeah, and he plays that baffled quality so well. Like that's why Coach was so successful, I think.
Yeah,
because he was like the doofus in it that was always goofing up and getting befuddled.
Yeah. It's just so good. And even the neighbors, their interactions with their neighbors. Like that acting is good. Just even those interactions, like it's all good. It's all really good. Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. That's okay. This is the one thing that to me stood out between this and the remake is when they talk about the houses being buried and the bodies not being removed is the biggest to me difference because in Poltergeist 1, you're leading up to it and they realized that the house was built on a cemetery. They're assuming that all the bodies were dug up, and then the foundations were dug and the houses were built. then all this crazy shit happens. And then the owner of the company that Craig T. Nelson works for comes by and it's raining. They're trying to get out of the house. And Craig T. Nelson grabs him and he's like, you moved the headstones, but you left the bodies. And I feel like that's such an emotional, like, tense moment. You know what I mean? In the remake, they're sitting around in the living room, and what do they say, Jay?
The character who's essentially the equivalent of Tangina, he's like, I don't think they moved the bodies. And everybody's, they're just kind of sitting around the living room. They're like, yeah, I think you're right.
I think they just left the
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it is so much, it's so big in the original movie because, like you said, it's in the rain and literally the bodies are coming up out of the ground. You know, you got all these skelly mans going, rah! and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's played off as, you know, like, what do you want for lunch later? I don't know. Oh, by the way, I don't think they moved the bodies.
Pizza.
And what about that scary clown doll in this movie?
Fuck. I didn't look under my bed for 5 years. Hell no. Hell no. Well, what's your song about, Alex?
What's my song about?
Yeah.
So funny thing about my song Butter Leggings, I went ahead. I was like, I know Poltergeist pretty good. I'm just going. I was kind of like in music mode at the moment. I was like, I'm just going to do a song real quick. I was like, I remember it well enough. I think I got the gist of it. So you'll have to bear with me because I remembered it as such that when Coach got home, he was a little bit more skeptical than he was. So that's mentioned in my song. So we'll just pretend I did a little rewrite or something.
Okay.
And I also remembered that
incorrectly.
Carrot Sticks, Carol Ann, that she got sucked in through the TV, but that's not true. She got sucked in through the closet. But I knew the TV was involved, and it sure as dang is because that TV is a big part of these movies. So just bear with that, just enjoy it. But it's also in the category of ska music.
Oh, okay.
So like, you know. Oh, and also I have two characters in it named Tommy and Timmy who are the trumpet players. Trumpet players were very prominent in ska in like the early 2000s or whenever it was.
Late 90s?
But another thing about that genre that I noticed is that oftentimes the background vocals were just like bros in the background putting their trumpet down for a moment and go, so that I played on that a little bit.
Okay, Tommy.
Yeah, Timmy?
We got two jobs in this band, and it's to do our trumpets real good and do our hey-heys and wobos real good. Now, don't embarrass us again like in rehearsal.
Oh, here we go.
Good.
Here we go. Nailed it. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey.
Here I go, the guy from Coach, buying a home. Hope it ain't got ghost. Time and space, it has splinters. And my daughter looks like Johnny Winter.
Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey.
I started out with a little bit of optimism, and then my Johnny Winter daughter got stuck in the television. I had a healthy amount of skepticism, but was faced with the cataclysm. Had to hire a little lady with paranormal vision.
Hey, hey, hey! Come on, Tommy, do the hey, hey, heys with me! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Sorry about that. Hey, hey, hey!
Here I go.
That was late, Tommy.
The guy from Coach escaped a housely hell. Now stuck in a motel. Disgruntled face I cannot hide. This motel TV, it's going outside.
Hey, hey, hey! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, hey, hey!
This house wasn't really what we wish it was, because our Johnny Winter daughter got stuck in the TV fuzz.
Hey, hey! No, sorry.
Don't embarrass us, Tommy.
I had a healthy amount of skepticism, but was faced with the cataclysm. Had to hire a little lady with paranormal vision.
Hey, hey, hey! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, hey, hey! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, hey, hey! Yeah, yeah, yeah!
That was awesome. Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was great. I actually really like the guitar that you put in. It sounded really right for the genre, kind of that clean sound that they have.
And I love those.
Yeah.
I love those fellers. Okay, let's play our trumpets real good.
Don't embarrass us right now.
So good. Oh yeah, that's awesome. And she got sucked in by the TV. Whatever. Whatever. It's fine.
Maybe it's kind of fitting that like Timmy and Tommy in the bunch, like
They're not
they
paying
didn't-
attention.
They didn't know what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have an activity planned for us that has to do with Amazon reviews. Actually, it was Alex's idea for this activity.
Okay.
But speaking of Amazon stuff, you have a thing, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm really into soup right now. I'm like really into soup. So I always like soup, but Jay's one of these people that soup is not food. Like soup is not a meal. Soup is not a meal for Jay. Usually, soup is like an appetizer or a precursor to a meal, or maybe a side, but definitely not a meal. But I could eat soup. I just love soup. And so, anyway, but I've never really made my own soup. I've had it in restaurants, and I'll like buy pre-made soup like in a can or whatever. But I figured out it's actually not that hard to make soup, and it's probably one of the easiest things to make. Like you throw a bunch of shit into broth and you've got soup. Hey, yeah, I just learned that as an adult. Anyway, so now I'm all into soup, and I was like, ooh, I want to have a container to take my soup in to work, because I don't want to take it into something that I have to microwave, because that microwave at work, and I guess most microwaves, makes the container like 700,000 degrees, and then the soup is like 4 degrees, every time. And so I was like, I want a thermal thing that'll just keep it hot until I can eat it like 3 hours later. Anyway, so I'm looking. Okay, so here's my Amazon search. Lunch bag, adult, recycled, thermal. That's my search, and I found this product that's that's what it is. It's a lunch bag, adult, recycled, thermal lunch bag, and in big letters, one of the key selling points is that it's sufficient capacity. And that's good. But what's really awesome is that they're trying to explain how much you can get into it. So they're trying to help people visualize, like, well, how much can fit in a sufficient capacity lunch bag? And they said can hold up to 6 water bottles. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
And 1 6-inch sandwich. So I'm trying to picture, like, what person is going to work with 6 fucking water bottles and 1 6-inch sandwich?
One time, either was our grandma or it might have been our mom put like hot dogs in a thermos, and they expanded to the point of they were stuck in there so hard that we couldn't pull any of them out.
Oh my God, I'm definitely ordering this though, and I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna make a 6-inch sandwich. Oh my God, it's so good. And they've got a diagram. They've got a diagram of 6 water bottles and 1 sandwich. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Oh, okay. So what's the game?
All right. So the game is Alex made up this game.
I did?
Yeah, you did. We haven't played it yet. This is our first time. The idea here is that we take some reviews from Amazon about the movie Poltergeist, and most of these are real, but some of them are fake. Some of them I made up. So you have to spot the one that's not a review. And I don't know, we don't have a name for this game yet, so maybe it's that's not a review.
I forgot I thought of that.
All right, so here we go. This is the first set of them. There's not a whole lot to go through here,
Hold
so
on.
it won't be real.
Maybe there's something to, you know how there's that, I can't believe it's not butter. Maybe there's something to that.
I can't believe this is not an Amazon review.
Anyway, keep going.
2 of these reviews are real and 1 is fake.
Okay.
So, first one, here we go. This is from Amazon user Dave. Dave gave the movie Poltergeist, and these are all about the movie Poltergeist, the original one from 1982. Okay. Dave gave it 1 out of 5 stars.
Definitely fake. It's too good of a movie.
Dave says, this is a classic, but for some reason, the day we rented it, it was missing the first 30 minutes of the movie, and the scenes were out of order. Wait for it to be a freebie on Halloween or for Amazon to fix streaming this classic.
Okay.
That sounds okay.
It sounds like a typical Amazon user.
It does. Yeah.
Next one is from Amazon user Miles. Miles also gave it 1 out of 5 stars and says, ghosts will not block my gravy.
That was.
And the third.
Wait, that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
The third review is from Amazon user Hector. Hector gave it 5 out of 5 stars and says, vampire classic. Okay.
Oh man!
So
you made up one of those.
I made up one of those. 2 of those are real.
Okay. I got a guess.
Okay, go for it.
I think you made up the Dave one.
I think you made up the vampire classic.
Okay, so you are both wrong. You both chose the real ones.
Really?
The one I made up was Miles. Miles said, "Ghost will not block my gravy." No, Dave's was a real review on Amazon.
Wow.
Dave seems to think that there's a version out there that's all out of order, like Memento, I guess.
Oh my God.
And Hector thinks the movie is about vampires.
Wow.
And those are both real reviews.
Wow.
Okay. All right, here's the next set. Amazon user Tracy gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It says, "Is she short or something?" Amazon user Stinger gave it 5 out of 5 stars and says in all caps, "Home entertainment."
God, these are so good.
And then Amazon user Gwen says, "Good Quady."
Good Quady.
All right, so 2 of those are real, one's fake.
Okay, go ahead, Alex.
I think the first one you made up.
Is she short or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
You both spotted it. That's correct. I made up that one.
Okay.
I was totally unsure though.
Me too. I mean, it is incredible that someone's like home entertainment.
Like, what is the best way that you can describe the movie Poltergeist? They're not wrong, I guess.
No, they're not wrong.
All right. This is our last one. But the thing is, this one's a little bit harder because there are 3 real ones and 1 fake one. All right.
So
We're
4.
We're going to go through 4 reviews here.
Okay.
All right. First one, Amazon user A Slice of Ham says, "This is more of a question. Is Poltergeist about the internet?"
God, I hope that is fucking real. God, I hope that's real.
Gotta be.
I really hope it's real.
Next one, Amazon user William says, "I received the wrong item. The packaging says red hoodie, but I received a plaid bootin' shirt." There's more. I'm keeping the wrong shirt only because my wife likes how I look in it. Next one, Amazon user Jonathan says, "Scary, add this to Whisper Net and commercials and cookies, and soon you will be unplugging your TV."
Oh, dear God. What? What? What?
And final one, Amazon user Logs
Yeah. Yeah.
says, "It's amazing that they were able to make movies like this before cameras were invented."
Okay, so
Oh, Jesus.
what are the rules? What are we looking for again? I can't remember.
The one that he made up.
I made up one of those.
What?
The first one more time.
Yeah, the first one is from user A Slice of Ham. And A Slice of Ham says, "This is more of a question. Is Poltergeist about the internet?"
Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to say you made up the one about the shirt.
Okay.
That's kind of where I was leaning too.
Both are saying the one about the shirt.
Yes.
No, I'm changing it last minute.
Okay.
I think unplugging.
All right. Well, you are both wrong. Those are real reviews.
Shit.
The fake one is, "It's amazing they were able to make movies like this before cameras were invented."
Oh my God.
I made up that one. The rest were real. Is Poltergeist about the internet? The one about the shirt?
How is that first one? How? Oh my God, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Oh, that's great. I love it.
Well, thanks for playing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So good.
Woo.
What are we watching next week?
Our movie next time is Logan's Run.
Ooh, can't wait. Cannot wait for that. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to check us out on butterlegspodcast.com and sometimes on Twitter at butterlegscast.
And send us an email at hello@butterlegspodcast.com. And every once in a while, I stream at twitch.tv/butterlegspodcast.
And in that email, feel free to send me one word or a couple words, maybe a small phrase that you would like to go in one of my songs. I'll try to incorporate it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's fun.
That's my Butterfriend challenge. If anyone cares to write.
All right. Yeah. Butterfriend challenge.
Hey, just one more thing about Poltergeist.
Meeting adjourned. I mean, ska kind of originated a long time before that, but I mean, Americanized ska music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around since, I think it's like a 50s or 60s thing originally, but I think, it was popular in the 80s and 90s in the US.
Okay.
Yeah. I once heard a full thing about it, and, it originated from reggae, in Jamaica, and then moved up into Florida, and then in the 90s, California really, Southern California was like, ooh, this is our thing now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I always think about, like, to me, my version of that, what I think about of ska is madness, right? So I think of
the 80s.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, it's very different than, like, I don't know. What do y'all think about?
I was thinking Tony Hawk.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
the skateboarding game called Tony Hawk that had a whole bunch of that 90s style ska.
The madness, though, they play a really big part in that, like, whole real ska history thing, because that was like the guy who started the band No Doubt. That was his favorite band, and he learned how to play every Madness song, and then started writing his own songs, and that became No Doubt. So
boring. Anyway,
boring.
It's always funny.
It's always. I feel like that could just almost ironically be the Butterlegs slogan, or maybe we'll put on a T-shirt or something. Boring.
Yeah, one of our T-shirts.
We have to wait until we're really popular, though. So Butter Leggings, tell your friends to share the show.
That's right.
Because
it's boring.
Yeah. And then once we reach a certain mark, then we'll start making some T-shirts. Boring.